Okay, so welcome to part number 2. So in part number 1 I shared 8 advices with you, and in this part I'm gonna share 7 with you that I've kind of learned recently. And so yeah, in part number 1 you can go watch this part if you haven't seen it. In this part I'm gonna dive into some more general things that I've just started recently or just learned recently, and I want to share that with you because I think that they are really great and then they can help you too. Number 1 is something I've realized recently, which is that I don't understand why we are still following trends. Because just a basic example, skinny jeans. Some people hate it, some people like them. And I just don't see why. Like for a long time it was baggy jeans, everybody was wearing baggy jeans. If you had skinny jeans on, it was like a no-go. Like I just realized that it's so boring to look like everybody else. I am kind of basic, like I'm not the craziest individuals that tries out, I don't know, but I'm the kind of person that wears what she likes to wear, what she likes, what she feels good in. So if I want to wear skinny jeans, I'm gonna wear skinny jeans because I like it and I feel good in it and I want to wear this. I would just like to inspire more people to do this because I feel like we are at a point now where there are still certain trends coming out every season, right? And I'm not saying that it's bad to follow them or to buy things that are trendy right now, because I still do it too, and sometimes I just like that trend, right? So I'm gonna follow it. But I'm just saying that you don't have to follow every trend all the time. It's just so boring that we all look the same and that nobody, like everybody's kind of not really scared but doesn't really want to try anything else. So this is your sign to start wearing what you really want to wear if you are not already doing this. And if you are, that's great. And even if what you like is basic and is always kind of like trendy, because that's also kind of my case. But I'm just saying, for other people who may have some more like different tastes, it's so okay to do this too and to try like on purpose to look different, because it's just so much more interesting. It's so boring when we all look the same, and I think that it's really inspiring to see people who are different and who just are not scared to be themselves. Okay, my next one is something that I've started doing 2 weeks ago, I think, and it is dry brushing. I don't know if you have heard of this, but it's like a little dry brush, and you go over it, like over your whole body with it, and you first have to open your lymph nodes, and then it's like a lymphatic drainage massage, and it helps your cellulites to, like, it just reduces cellulites. It helps your skin to glow more. It just has so many benefits. It even apparently reduces anxiety. Like, you can look it up. It has so many benefits. And I have to say that just the fact that I move like the fluid on my body kind of almost every day, it just feels so much better, because I feel like my body can work better and that the like things are just not stuck somewhere. But since I've only been using it for 2 weeks, I would say that I do start to see some little results or like improvements, but I can't tell really yet. But I just know that the results will be great, because this, for example, is a thing that is really trendy right now. And so I bought it because I've always been interested in this. And so yeah, so you know, it's not bad to follow a trend, but you just have to do it for yourself, not because everybody else is doing it. I would really encourage you to buy this if you just feel like you have really dry skin, because yeah, it does get rid of all of the dead skin. Okay, my next advice, or like my next point, is how you can take decisions faster. I, for a long time, struggled a lot with this. I'm just a perfectionist. I really want to make sure that I make the right decision, right? It's so tiring when you always think about all of these, even if it's not big decisions, all of these small decisions. But in our day-to-day life, we have to make so many decisions, and some of them are just kind of like a weight on our shoulder. And what I found out for myself, and you either get this or you don't, and you're either gonna try this or not, but that's not on me. I can just share with you what helped me, and that's just take a decision. And this sounds so basic and easy, not really helpful, but that's actually the case. Sometimes obviously you should listen to your gut feeling and maybe to some other things that can help you to take this decision. But sometimes it's easier to just take the decision and to then see what happens, and to then maybe kind of like change the outcome afterwards, or then change your mind to like the other decision, like to make the other decision. Literally, the easiest way to take a decision is to just make one, and then you will see what happens. And if that wasn't the right one, you can most of the time change what you've done. And I think that that's something we all kind of like forget. It's like the world is gonna end if we make the wrong decision. And that's what I've realized for myself. Like, just do. Like, stop procrastinating and just do. And that's why I say you're either getting it or not, because some people will be like, okay, no. And for some people it will kind of be like a little awakening, because that's what it was for me. I think I read it somewhere. No, I actually heard it in a podcast. And it just clicked for me, and that's when I realized, okay, I just make a decision. And since then, I just feel so much lighter, and everything also feels so much easier, because I just make a decision and I just don't make a big deal out of it, because I also learned to become more and more detached of things, to make decisions that easily. You can always, like most of the time, change the outcome afterwards, or like make another decision, or then go from there. And because you will always learn something from the decisions you made, and you will become better at this the more decisions you take, or like you make, whatever. My point number 4 is just a little advice that can be an inspiration for you, but if you are not on this, it's totally okay. But I started running again not that long ago. I didn't run that much, but the feeling that you feel after like a 5k run or something, it's what I run usually. It's just the best. Like, you feel such a huge accomplishment, and it just feels so great. And it's also great for training your discipline. Obviously, it has a lot of benefits, but that's just a little inspiration. If you think about starting to run again, take the decision, just do it once, and then you will see it's not that huge of a thing. Like, if you're constantly, should I go, should I not, like da da da, like, what are you waiting for? Just go for a run, and then you will see. If you don't like it, that's fine. But if you do, that's even better. Now, the next one is something I've talked about with a friend a while ago, actually, which is that I personally have been going to a therapist for like 3 years or something. And right now I'm going to a woman who, she's not a therapist, she actually is a nutritionist, but she also works with like the energy of people. Like, that's been really great too for me. She can kind of like unstuck things I personally either didn't even really know about, or that just keep me from doing what I actually want to do. Like, it can also be traumatized that you've been living as a child. It's kind of something like this. My point here is that I would love for more people actually, to try to go to a therapist just once. I feel like some people could really need it who don't go. And I understand that some people, like, it's not for everybody for sure, but I think that some people are not even aware of what they are like walking around with, what a baggage they mentally may have, and what like childhood traumas they haven't really been working on, or they are not even really aware of, that are affecting their adulthood. Let this be your sign. There are a lot of signs in this video today, but let this be your sign to, if you have been thinking about it or maybe hearing about it, if you can allow you to do this, I would really recommend it. Because again, like, make the decision and you will see. It's like, I really understand that it's not easy to open up to somebody, especially somebody you don't know, but that's also a benefit because this person won't judge you because they don't even know you, and that's their job. And you will understand how many benefits this can have for you if you try it. So number 6 is something like, it's a big one. For a really long time, for me personally, I always felt like a bit of shame. Well, not actually shame. I felt really bad for not taking so much time for the people that actually were really important for me, but it was so natural for me. I just took it for granted that these people were in my life and that they were just there. This goes especially for my grandparents because I just love them so much, both sides, from my mom's side and my dad's side, and I just never really took the time to go see them because I always had other things to do. And I felt so bad about this because they are older, and like, the chance that their life is gonna end sooner is bigger than the chance of anybody else's lives to end sooner, right? And so that's kind of what I've always had in mind. And so that's something that really just clicked for me again, which also kind of like relates to my point number 3 of making decisions. I can just go for an hour or something. Like, it's not that big of a deal. I can take that time for them. When I started to do this, I felt such a relief. I finally didn't have that I take them for granted anymore. I didn't feel bad about it anymore because I don't know why I did that, but I also always visualized myself being at their grave or something when they died, and just thinking to myself, why didn't I just take some time for them? Like, they are not asking for anything and they just give me so much. I should really do this. And then I started doing this with other people in my surroundings too, where I just felt like I take them too much for granted and I just really want to make more time for them. I understand that it's pretty hard to make time for everybody, and obviously you should first make time for yourself. Like, I always put myself before anybody else, but sometimes I also like to just just do for myself what I need in that moment, but then it also just fulfills me to be with other people and to know that I just made their day, for example, or that they were just so happy to see me. And so yeah, that also then kind of like fulfills me, just helps me to feel like a better person actually. So now my last point is that that's kind of controversial, but I would really like you to try to sometimes break out of your routines. I've talked about this in another video, but having routines is a great thing. Having routines is human, we need it as humans, and it can help us so much to just have a better structure in our day and to feel safe and secure and to be organized, right? But what I've realized these past weeks is that I was really becoming a grandma in the sense of like I was like in bed by 8 or 9 p.m. and then I would do my routines. I would go to bed, and I'm not regretting this, or like I still do this, right? Because I need my 8 hours of sleep, and then I wake up and everything's great, and because I'm in my routines and my routines are great for me and I love them, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't have routines, you should. But what I've realized actually is that the past weeks I started to go out with my best friends on Saturday nights, and it was just like a little awakening. I was constantly being the same type of person, like this perfect little girl. I'm not saying that it's boring, because I love being that type of girl and it may be boring to some people, but if you're constantly like this, it can become a bit boring, even maybe to yourself, because you're constantly the same version of yourself. My point actually is that I went out with my best friend, and as soon as we were getting ready, doing our makeup, listening to music, all of the things that I used to do at like 15, it was just like a little awakening. I just felt like it was like some fresh air, and it was really great. We had like the best time. And what I'm trying to say is just that the next day I immediately went back to my routine, and that helped me to still continue to feel grounded and to feel good. And that's something I would recommend to you too, to like kind of like lose your routine. But what I mean by breaking out of your routine from time to time is something like this, like maybe go out once a week and just care about other things than your routines and do other things. Just have fun and don't take yourself too seriously always. It will also help you to kind of like step out of your routines and kind of like see your life as it is right now from another point of view, and it can help you to maybe make some changes in this. And so yeah, this was my second video about some advices that I'm sharing with you that I've learned in the past weeks. So I hope you like it. I hope that you could like take some things from it with you. I'll see you in the next one.